Hello everyone. This hour on Verbling, the next in my great short story series. We're on short story 21, actually 2 short stories, so 2 by William Carlos Williams. These are both very short stories, so we did lots of activities around the first one. Today we're going to read the second one, The Use of Force, and we'll be comparing the 2 of them together and talking about what they mean in the second half of class. But before we begin, a quick introduction about me. I'm John Eric, your Verbling teacher for this hour. I'm an American teacher from New York, hanging out in Lisbon, Portugal to bring you this class. Here are 3 quick rules to help you participate. Don't forget to turn off, tune in, and open up, which means turn off your microphone when you're not speaking so we can keep the classroom quiet. Tune in to the new words, the new vocabulary that you're learning, so that I can correct you and give you feedback. Tune in means use it actively. And finally, open up to your classmates. Relax and have fun. We're all here to learn, and this is a safe and respectful place to practice your English. And that is all you need to know about me. We're going to begin in just a second. What I'm going to do is share my screen with you. Give me a second to open our short story. There we go. So you should be able to see that on screen right now. Okay, so let's say a quick hello to Elisa, who's joining us again. Hello, Elisa.
Hi.
How's life today?
Hi. Really good. It's a sunny day.
It's a sunny day. Excellent. I'm 1 hour earlier than you, I think. So
Yeah, for me it's 11. Yeah.
11? No, it's 10. What time is it there?
Because it's 11, but in my PC I have the London hour because before I was living in London.
Oh, okay. I'm on London time.
Okay.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll get a few other people. There's Yuki. Hi, Yuki. Hopefully we'll get a few other people as well. What I was going to do is jump right into the second story because they're both pretty short, and then talk about them both together in the second half because I don't think it'll take that long to read the second part. I'm a little bit sick, so if you hear me sniffing in the background, just ignore me. So I'm going to scroll down to, I'll tell you the page in a second. We'll get back to our cartoon too in a second, but let me get 1 second here. So far, okay, there we go. So I have page 11 for the story. By the way, if you don't have the link, it's always in the class material, but I'll put it in the chat window as well. There you go. So, Elisa, were you in the class on Tuesday? I can't remember. I think you were.
No, I never read this story. I was in a lecture, but not this one.
A lecture? Wow.
Yes.
Who gave the lecture?
I forgot.
Ah, okay.
I was here, but I don't know. I'm calling so many lectures.
Because when you say lecture, it sounds like you were in a university class. That's why I was asking.
No.
I was doing a lecture on the effects of globalization on third world developing countries or something. All right, don't worry about it. We can actually even reread the first story because it's only about a paragraph long. But let's get started with this. Do I want to say anything else? Let's do this. In order to understand this story, it's a good idea just to recall the last story because we should compare them. They're similar. Yuki,
yes.
What could you say about the first story to give Elisa a little bit of background before we read this one?
First story is a monologue of the wife
The wife
He
of?
wife of
Oh, you mean a wife or the wife of
a
someone?
wife. Sorry,
A wife. Okay, I agree. Yeah.
monologue of a wife. She's talking about the sick person
hmm
uh, next to her. Uh, he is he hurt he hurt in his side. Yeah.
Yeah, she says he couldn't get dressed and he had a pain in his
Yes.
side. Yeah. Okay. And
He
what's on? Sorry, go ahead.
when he woke up, he felt pain in his side, and a wife tried. A wife discouraged him to go to work, but he tried to go. He tried to go for a walk. And after that, a wife suddenly began to talk about his pets, his animals, keeping in her house, and and in the finally,
Talking to whom though? Who was she talking to?
she talking maybe for herself.
Well,
She talking herself.
wait a second. The story was called verbal transcription. So who did the transcription? You remember?
Uh,
She's talking to the doctor, isn't she?
yes, sorry, I'm sorry. She's talking the symptom of her maybe husband to the doctor. So
Right.
yes. It's after after her explanation about the symptom of her husband, she suddenly began to talk about silly, several animals keep uh, she keep she keeps in the house. In finally, she talked about the canary. She keeping. Uh, she 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 talked how canary is bad for her.
So, in other words, when a doctor comes to the house, you would probably expect the wife of the sick man to talk about the sick man. Instead, she talks about the animals. She talks
Yes.
about the dog. She talks about the cat. She talks about the birds. She talks about everything except the husband. And that's the end of the story.
It turned out that she's lonely. She's lonely, so she treated her husband as an animal, as a pet.
Seems like she can't, really distinguish between her husband and all the other pets that she keeps. Well,
Yes.
this is also a story about a doctor, and it's a little different, but I think it's comparable. So maybe I won't say anything else. We'll just read it. Let me just see how long it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it's 4.5 pages, but it's the language is pretty simple. So let's give it a shot, okay? And then we'll see if we can compare it to the first one. So Elisa, you were the first in today. Why don't you take the first 3 paragraphs, okay? And if there's any questions, just ask at any time. And I'll be correcting
Okay.
your pronunciation and asking you some concept questions along the way. Okay?
Okay.
Go for it.
They were a new patient to me. All I had was no name, Holson. Please come down as soon as you can. My daughter is very sick. When I
Correct. Except
arrived, I was
one word, patience.
patient. Where
Right.
is it? Patience. Okay. When I arrived, I was met by the mother, a big, startled-looking woman, very clean and apologetic, who merely said, "Is it the doctor?" and let me in. In the back she added, "You must excuse us, doctor. We have her in the kitchen, where it is warm. It's very damp there sometimes."
Good.
As,
And what's
the child was
damp, by the way? Is that clear? What's damp?
not so much. It's something very stupid. It's very, no, I don't know.
It's the opposite of dry.
Okay,
Humid. Humid is damp.
humid. Okay. The child was fully dressed and sitting on her father's lap near the kitchen table. He tried to get up, but I motioned for him not to bother, took off my overcoat and started to look things over. I could see that they were all very nervous, eyeing me up and down distrustfully. As often in such case, they weren't telling me more than they had to. It was up to me to tell them. That's why they were spending $3 on me.
They're spending $3 on the doctor. So why do you what does that tell you about the time, the place, the setting? What does that tell you? Well, it's dollars, so it's got to be America, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh,
What does
is
that
it
tell
an
you?
old story? Because $3 is not so much. It's nothing now.
Yeah, I would say so. How much do you think a doctor would cost? To get a doctor to come to your house today, how much do you think it
It's
would cost?
more.
More like $300. Doctors don't even make house calls anymore, so you have to go to the emergency room. But at the time, either there wasn't an emergency room, or maybe they're in a rural place, perhaps. And what do you think this means? This part here in blue, eyeing me up and down distrustfully. Why do you think that they would do that? We were looking for clues in the story about everything that is not said. So one thing that's not said is the time, but we have an idea it's a long time ago because it's only $3. Another thing that's not said is the place, but we have an idea because if the doctor comes to you, it means there's no hospital. But what about this line here? They were eyeing me up and down distrustfully. What were they doing, Elisa? What do you think they were actually doing?
They're looking at the dress.
Right, looking at the clothes, right?
And so
not at the
maybe
dress, but at the clothes. Clothes.
Clothes.
Because women wear dresses.
Okay.
Those not dresses, but clothes. Okay. So yeah, looking at the way he's dressed, maybe. And why do you think they might be distrustful? What's the difference between the doctor and that couple and their child? What do you think? What's the difference between them? Why might they be distrustful? You have to use your imagination here a little bit. Any ideas?
Maybe the family is very rich. Or
the family's
opposite.
very rich, or the opposite, because that's why they were spending $3. Okay, $3 is not a lot of money, but maybe for them it is a lot of money. See what I'm saying? If I look at the reason why that sentence is there, the only thing I can come up with is it's a lot of money for them, and they don't trust people. You know, what's he going to do with my money? Is it worth it? Maybe that's just my impression. I don't know. There's no right and wrong. I haven't really analyzed the story, and I haven't read this in a long, long time. But that's my impression. All right, let me move this down a little bit. Yuki, let's pick it up with the child. On 11.
Just a minute.
Okay.
The child was fairly eating me up with her cold, steady eyes, and no expression to her face whatever. She did not move and seemed inwardly quiet, an unusually attractive little thing, and as strong as a heifer.
Heifer.
Sorry, heifer.
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 Do you know what a heifer is?
Yes, Heifer means young cow.
Young cow. She's as strong as a cow. Right. Heifer.
And as strong as Heifer in appearance. But her face was flushed. She was breathing rapidly, and I realized that she had a high fever. She had magnificent blonde hair in profusion. One of those picture children often reproduced in advertising leaflets and the photogravure section of the Sunday papers.
Do you know what that is, by the way? Photogravure.
Photogravure means I think it's printing something.
Yeah, printing.
Photo printing.
Except that it's an old way of doing it because, sort of there was no digital technology back then.
Mm-hmm.
So it gives you another idea that this happened a long time ago. Maybe this was 60 years ago or something like that. So
Yeah.
a printing process to get the photos. All right. Sorry, go ahead. Keep going.
Okay. She'd had a fever for 3 days. Began the father and we.
Began means said the father.
Okay. Began the father and we don't know what it comes from. My wife has given her things, like people do, but it doesn't do no good. And there's been a lot of sickness around, so we thought maybe.
Yeah.
So we thought you would better look her over and tell us what is the matter.
By the way, just a question here. What do you think about his level of education? Based on the way he's speaking, what do you notice?
I suppose that he hadn't enough education.
Mm-hmm.
His vocabulary is quite poor. His vocabulary in his speech is quite poor. I think.
And what about that line in blue on screen? Do you see that line in blue? Look on the screen for a moment.
It don't do no. There is a mistake in grammar.
Yeah.
So I think.
So he's kind of talking like your stereotypical country farmer, Well, I reckon it don't do no good. You cannot say don't do. You can't say don't do no. You can't have two negatives in a sentence in English. Unless maybe you're in the middle of nowhere and have no contact with people and don't know how to speak proper English. Actually, it's not really wrong, it's just a dialect. There's different dialects of English, but in the cities, it would sound pretty weird. By the way, just a quick hello to Nader, who's joining us a little late. Hey, Nader, how are you?
Nader? Hi, how are you?
Hey,
yes,
okay.
Yes, I'm here.
Excellent. Are you driving?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Don't crash.
No, don't worry.
All right, we just started our second story, just so you know. Okay, Yuki, we cut you off, so let's go to the top of the next page, where it says As Doctors. I cut you off, so keep going, Yuki.
As doctors often do, I took a trial shot at it as a point of departure. Has she had a sore throat? Both parents answered me together. No, she said her throat don't hurt her. There is a mistake, yeah?
Yeah. She says her throat don't hurt her instead of doesn't hurt her.
Doesn't hurt.
Talk like a farmer. Talk like a... You can do your best Southern accent. I don't know if they're Southern, but kind of reminds me.
It's a Southern accent, yeah?
I don't know. Kind of makes me think it is. Maybe the author is from New Jersey. So he lived there all of his life practically. But it kind of sounds like a country doctor to me. I don't know. So maybe I'm wrong.
He also said sort instead of thought. Yeah. So,
Yeah, it's
Soto.
thought instead of throat, instead of thought. Yeah, exactly.
You thought you better. Okay. Does your throat hurt you? Added the mother to the child, but the little girl's expression didn't change, nor did she move her eyes from my face. Have you looked? I tried to, said the mother, but I couldn't see.
Let's see if we can give Nader a chance to read. Can you read and drive, Nader, or are you just listening?
I'll read within 2 minutes.
Okay. So let's go back to Eliza for As It Happens. Remember, if there's any questions, just ask at any point. Eliza, let's pick it up from As It Happens. Eliza? Are you there?
Yes,
Ah,
sorry.
okay.
Yes, I'm here.
Go for it.
As it happens, he had been having a number of cases of diphtheria in the school, to which
Diphtheria?
this diphtheria. Okay.
Oh, you're right. I'm
Diphtheria
sorry. Wait.
in the school.
Maybe you're right. Maybe because it's PH. It's weird because I always said diphtheria, but it looks like it's spelled diphtheria. I've always pronounced it dip.
Because in Italian, diphtheria.
And what is it?
It's with the F. It's a illness.
Well, it's an illness, but do you know what kind of illness?
Now it's disappear, I think. It's an old illness. No, I remember that there is, but now no. It's something about they don't need the liquids or something like this.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Diphtheria.
And
as I wrote in the chat.
It's something having to do with. Oh, you did? Sorry, I didn't see it. Diphtheria. Diphtheria. Oh, okay. Wow, I've been
Diphtheria.
for 40 years. Who knew? A febrile infectious disease caused by the Bacillus, I can't pronounce that. So it's caused by bacteria and characterized by the formation.
Accent is second syllable. Diphtheria.
Diphtheria.
Our teacher was gone. Okay.
Hi, John. Are you there?
Hi.
Are you back? John, I can't hear you.
1 second.
He doesn't speak. Okay.
Okay.
Well, you can probably hear me, but I have to download the Verbling app. So I'm doing it now.
Okay, thank you.
Let's see if it's working. The problem is I clicked on the dictionary link, Oh no, it's not loading. I have to rejoin because the Verbling app, if it doesn't work, then I don't know. Give me a second, I'll be right back. 1 second.
I think you have a heavy burden on your computer again.
Okay, got it working. So the moral of the story is, don't look up words in the middle of the lesson. That's the moral. I clicked on the link to the dictionary and I got kicked out of my own class. So Google doesn't want us to know definitions. Whatever you do, don't look things up. By the way, welcome, Shavar. I didn't see you come in.
Yes, teacher.
You probably came in when I was out. Okay, so we were just describing diphtheria, which I've been pronouncing wrong for 40 years, but now I know. So I interrupted you, Elisa. Why don't you continue? I'm sorry.
Okay. As it happens, we had been having a number of cases of diphtheria in the school to which this child went during that month, and we were all, quite apparently, thinking of that, though no one had as yet spoken of the thing.
Repeat.
Well, I said,
Though
suppose...
no one.
Okay. Well,
No.
I said,
Repeat. Though no one.
Okay. But where is though?
It's what you just read in the first paragraph. Thinking of that, though no one had as yet spoken of the
Though
thing.
no one had.
Right.
No one had as yet spoken.
Good, because the GH is silent, so we say though.
Okay. Though
no
one had. Okay.
Okay, very good. Keep going.
Well, I said, suppose we take a look at the throat first. I smiled in my best professional manner, and asking for the child's first name, I said, open your mouth and let's take a look at your throat. Nothing doing. Another one?
What do you think it means, nothing doing? That's an old expression. What do you think he means by that?
There is nothing to do. It's very... Maybe she's very ill and it's too late to do something?
No, it's not too late. Nothing doing means she refused to cooperate. In other words,
okay.
It's an expression.
He doesn't open the mouth.
Exactly. It's an old expression. We don't use it anymore. It means that someone doesn't cooperate with you. Who is the doctor speaking to? He's talking to himself. We're hearing his interior monologue. So this is a different kind of a monologue. In the last story, it was a monologue of the patient's wife, I guess. Here, it's a monologue too. But in this monologue, we're getting bits of the conversation, but we're privileged to hear his interior thoughts. So nothing doing. In other words, he's saying, oh, she won't cooperate. In other words. Well, let's see if we can give Nader a chance to read as well. Are you able to read now, Nader? Or are you still driving?
No. Great.
Okay, so we're right here if you want to pick it up from this part.
Okay. Oh, come on. I coaxed just to open. I coaxed.
I coaxed.
I coaxed. Coaxed.
Good.
So you say O or ow?
Oh, coaxed.
Oh, coaxed. No. I mean before come on.
Oh, it's, oh, come on. He's talking to the girl. Oh, come on.
Oh, come on. I coaxed. Just open your mouth wide and let me take a look. Look, I said, opening both hands wide. I haven't anything in my hands. Just open up and let me see. Such a nice man, put in the mother. Such a nice man, put in the mother. Look how kind he is to you. Come on, do what he tells you. Do what he tells you to. He won't hurt you. At that, I ground my teeth in disgust.
Good.
If only they wouldn't use the word hurt, I might be able to get somewhere. But I didn't allow myself to be hurt or disturbed. But speaking quietly and slowly, I approached that child again.
So what's wrong with the word hurt? Why does he object to that word? Just so it's clear. Who said hurt, first of all? Nader, who said hurt?
The mother said it. He won't hurt you.
Right. And so what's the problem with that in the mind of the doctor? Is that clear? What's the problem?
Maybe because when she said he won't hurt you, the girl thinks that he will hurt her.
Exactly. Don't say the word hurt, especially to a child. Okay. Sure. Shafar, want to take the next sec? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So there is one. Sorry, when I was reading, some question came to my mind. So, 1 minute. Please. Oh yeah. This one. Such a nice. Put in the mother. Such a nice man. Put in the mother. She said. Means she said. Sorry, I can't hear you. John, I can't hear you.
I think our teacher has a technical problem now.
Maybe.
Oh, it's okay. Can you tell me what we are talking about? I'm not really understand.
We are now reading and it is a story about the
dentist.
No, about the daughter, about a girl who is sick. Parents invited. Yes, I hear from strong noise. And parents.
Me too.
Chef, are you here? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Please continue.
Parents invited a doctor to their home, to their house. Doctor tried to make clear what wrong with the girl. Understand? A daughter is very sick.
Yes. It's about a woman going to a doctor.
No, a doctor is, I think, a man.
Yes.
And a daughter has a sore throat. Do you know what sore throat means? His heart. She feel a pain in her throat.
In throat, okay. Maybe she's talking a lot.
Yes, and the doctor asked her to
Can you hear me now?
open her.
Hello, hello.
Yes,
Hello,
I'm now explaining the story to Schaefer.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm
Sorry about that. There's obviously something wrong with my computer. I don't know. So, but
Schaefer and doctor asked her daughter to open her mouth, but she denied to do it.
She refused.
They refused. Do you understand?
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yes, I understand.
All right. So, I'm sorry. Did I answer your question, Nader? Yes.
Could you please say it again? Put in the mother. Does it mean said the mother?
Yeah. There's a couple of times in the story where he uses a synonym of to say. He did it earlier too. This is one of them. She put in means she added, she said additionally. And earlier, whatever Yuki was reading, I forgot, was another example. So it just means to say. But again, it sounds kind of like, doesn't sound so modern. I'm not sure if we would.
Dated.
Yeah, a little dated. Good word, by the way. Shafar, why don't you take this part here?
Okay. As I move my chair a little nearer, suddenly with one cat-like movement, both her hands clawed instinctively for my eyes, and she almost reached them too. In fact, she knocked my glasses flying, and they fell, tall and broken, several feet away from me on the kitchen floor. Both the mother and father almost threw themselves inside out, in embarrassment and apology. You bad girl, said the mother. Take her and shaking her by one arm. Look what you have done. The nice man. For heaven's sake, I broke in. Don't call me a nice man to her. I'm here to look at her throat on the chance that she may have diphtheria and possibly die of it. But that's nothing to her. Look here, I said to the child. We are going to look at your throat. You are old enough to understand what I'm saying. Will you open it now by yourself, or shall we have to open it for you?
Wow. So, how would you describe the child, and how would you describe the doctor in this little paragraph? Shafar, what do you think? Is the child...
Of course.
Go ahead, sorry.
No problem. Of course, the child didn't want to open her mouth, and the doctor forced him to open that.
So she doesn't want him to. But also, what does she do to the doctor that embarrasses her parents? What does she do when he tries to look at her? What does she do, Shafar, in the very beginning? One important detail. What did she do to his glasses, Shafar?
Okay. She knocked the glasses.
Yeah. She took a swipe at him like a cat. And she knocked his glasses to the floor. So she's already being compared to an animal. She did this cat-like movement. You know, when you're least expecting it, they try to like swipe at you. At least mine does. So how does that change the doctor's attitude? Class, how does that change the doctor, the nice man? How does that change his attitude? Anyone, all of you, how does it change the doctor's attitude? Does he seem a little different at the end of Shafar's paragraph? Does he seem a little different to you? He seems different to me.
You are asking our opinion?
Yeah. Your opinion, but based on the text, of course. What clues you can give me? Does his attitude change a little bit after his glasses are knocked off?
Of course, I think the attitude of doctor a little changed. Before, I think doctor is very polite and
Right.
gentleman,
And
but
then what
now it sounds a little wild in his behavior.
he gets really stern, both with the parents and the kid. He's talking to the parents I mean, don't call me that. I mean, like, wow. They're paying him. So that's a little strange. And then also to the kid, will you open your mouth or do I have to do it for you? Like, okay, he's putting her he's putting her in her place. So we're seeing a different side of the doctor.
He's a little upset, and I think he feels anger. Maybe.
Yeah, he's angry.
Angry.
Yeah. Okay, keep going, Yuki.
Not a move. Sorry. Not a move. Even her expression hadn't changed. Her breaths, however, were coming faster and faster. Then the battle began. I had to do it. I had to have a throat culture for her own protection. But first I told the parents that it was entirely up to them. I explained the danger, but said that I would not insist on a throat examination so long, so they would take the responsibility.
Wait, so long as they will.
Not to insist. So I would not insist on a throat examination so long as they would take the responsibility.
Yeah, what responsibility for what, do you think?
Sorry?
Responsibility for what? What does he want them to take responsibility for? It's kind of
they should take the responsibility for ensure their doctor to look into her, to examine her.
Right. Why should they take responsibility, not him? What's he gonna do? I mean, normally you just say open your mouth, and who needs to take responsibility? So why is he? Yeah, why is he asking the parents to take? What's the danger here? It's not stated explicitly, but what's the danger?
Danger. What is danger is it is danger because it's dangerous because if a doctor cannot find out what the reason of the illness, but that's the reason of disease, he can the daughter cannot be cured.
Oh, I don't know if I agree. I have a different opinion.
Yeah.
I think that he's telling them to take responsibility because he might hurt her.
Just.
I think he understands that he's going to have to force her mouth open, and he might really hurt her. So he's saying, hey, listen, if I don't check her throat, she could have a problem, but I'm probably going to hurt her to open her mouth because she won't let me. Right? And so he's saying, so look, I'll do it, but you have to take responsibility. If I hurt her, it's not my fault. I think that's what he's trying to say.
Doctor is dangerous, yeah?
Doctor seems pretty dangerous.
Doctor might be dangerous.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe it's Joseph Mengele. I don't know. I don't know who the doctor is. Okay, keep going, Yuki.
Okay. Now I see. If you don't do what the doctor says, you'll have to go to hospital. The mother admonished her severely. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah. I had to smile to myself. After all, I had already fallen in love with the savage blood. The parents were contemptible.
Contemptible.
The parents were contemptible to me. In the ensuing struggle, they grew more and more abject,
right.
Crushed, exhausted, while she surely rose to magnificent heights of insane fury of effort bred of her terror of me.
What do you think?
I think doctor is angry now.
I think
Completely.
he's angry, but now he's in love with the girl because she's wild. She's a wild animal. So he really likes this, and he hates the parents because they're boring. I think it's an interesting doctor. Elisa, why don't you pick it up there where it says the father tried his best?
Can I ask her a question? Breath,
Go for it.
Savage breath.
Where it says, okay, insane fury of
Fall in
effort.
love with the savage breath.
Oh, brat. Brat is spoiled child. Spoiled. In Italian, I don't know the word.
Yeah, but I look in the dictionary, but is it an old word or still used?
No, we use it all the time. You're a spoiled brat. Go to your room. You don't get dessert. Go to your room, you brat.
Okay.
In Portuguese, it's mimado. In Italian, I don't know if you use the same word. Mochoso. Oh, now I know. Okay.
Yeah. The father tried his best, and he was a big man, but the fact that she was his daughter, his shame at her behavior, and his dread of hurting her made him realize her just at the release her just at the critical times when I had almost achieved success, till I wanted to kill him. But his dread, also take the might have diphtheria, made him tell me to go on, though he himself was almost fainting, while the mother moved back and forth behind us, raising and lowering her hands in an agony of apprehension.
I lost the point. So apprehension.
Apprehension, yeah.
So the father's holding the daughter and trying to hold her mouth open, but he gives up. He doesn't want to hurt his daughter, so he just keeps giving up, and they can't get the throat culture. Just to make sure that's really clear, right? So, and the doctor is getting angry at the father for being such a wimp. The father's a wimp. What's a wimp? What's a wimp?
I don't know.
Anyone know what a wimp is? What's a wimp? Yuki, what's a wimp?
Wimp is very caprice. How to say? Very very unstable feeling.
Shafar, what were you saying?
Sometimes she loves one thing, sometimes another thing.
Oh, I see what you mean. Like, so indecisive.
Okay.
Well, it's more than this. It's a little more than that. Shafar, what were you saying? Because you said something, Shafar.
Torts, isn't it?
What? I can't hear you.
Torts.
Taught? To teach?
Torts. In verbal.
You have to write. Coward.
Coward.
Is that you who wrote that? Or is that... Oh, who's Ula? Oh, Ula's watching. Okay. Oh, that's you. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yes.
Coward. Wimp is a coward, right?
Weak character.
Weak character, exactly. Weak character. Weak. That's it. Okay, so, Shafar, I think you're up. Let's take this paragraph. Let's see if we take these two.
Put her in front of you on your lap, I ordered, and hold both her wrist. But
Yeah,
as
but
soon as she did,
you gotta say it like you're ordering. You gotta say it like you're the doctor, Shafar. Put her in
okay,
front of you on your lap, I ordered. With conviction.
okay. Put her in front of you on your lap, I ordered, and hold both her wrists. But as soon as she did, the child let out a scream. Don't, you are hurting me. Let go of my hands. Let them go, I tell you. Then she circled terrifyingly and
Wait. She shrieked. Ah! She shrieked.
yeah. Then she screamed, terrifyingly and hysterically. Stop it, you are killing me. Do you think she can stand it, doctor? Said the mother. You get out, said the husband to his wife. Do you want her to die of the diphtheria? Come on now, hold her, I said. Then I grasped the child's head with my left hand and tried to get the wooden tongue depressor
Tongue
between her
depressor
teeth.
is that long wooden thing that you put in someone's mouth to look into their throat. It's like a long wooden stick. It's called a
Ah,
tongue depressor. But it's a wooden stick.
ah. She fought with clenched teeth desperately, but now I also had grown furious at the child. I tried to hold myself down, but I couldn't. I know how to expose a throat for inspection, and I did my best. When finally I got the wooden spatula behind the last teeth and just the point of it into the mouth cavity, she opened up for an instant, but before I could see anything, she came down again, and gripping the wooden blade between her molars, she reduced it to the splinter before I could get it out
So
again.
what did she do to the tongue depressor, Shafar? What did she do?
What she do is
Tell me in simple
mm,
words. What did she do? In simple words.
she grasped
She grasped,
grasped.
not grasped, no. She bit it. She bit it and she chewed it. So he's trying to look in her mouth and she bit it and reduced it to splinters. Splinters are pieces of wood. So she bit it and she chewed it,
Mm.
so he couldn't see it, so he was trying to open her mouth with it, but she bit it. Okay, we're running out of time, but we gotta finish the story. Yuki, pick it up from Aren't You Ashamed?
Okay. Aren't you ashamed? The mother yelled at her.
Yelled at her.
A mother yelled at her. Aren't you ashamed to act like that in front of the doctor? Get me a smooth-handed spoon of some sort, I told the mother. We are going through with this.
We're going through with this. We're not giving up. We're going through with this.
We are going through with this. The child's mouth was already bleeding. Her tongue was cut and she was screaming in wild, hysterical shrieks. Perhaps I should have desisted and come back in an hour or more. No doubt it would have been better. But I have seen at least 2 children lying dead in bed of neglect in such cases, and feeling that I must get a diagnosis now and never. I went at it again, but the worst of it was that I too had got beyond reason. I could have torn the child apart in my own fury and enjoyed it. It was a pleasure to attack her. He's a sadist. My face was burning with it. The damned little blood must be protected against her own idiocy.
Idiocy.
Idiocy. One says to oneself at such times. Others must be protected against her. It is social necessity. It is social necessity. But all these things are true. But a blind fury, a feeling of adult shame, bred of a longing for muscular release, the operatives. One goes on to the end.
Okay, listen to the last paragraph before we run out of time here, everyone. In a final, unreasoning assault, I overpowered the child's neck and jaws. I forced the heavy silver spoon back of her teeth and down her throat until she gagged. And there it was, both tonsils, covered with membrane. She had fought valiantly to keep me from knowing her secret. She had been hiding the sore throat for 3 days at least, and was lying to her parents in order to escape just such an outcome as this. Now truly she was furious. She had been on the defensive before, but now she attacked, tried to get off her father's lap and fly at me, while tears of defeat blinded her eyes. And that is the story of The Use of Force by William Carlos Williams.
It seems that it as if it happened in the ring of pro wrestling.
It reminds me of The Exorcist, of the movie. Listen, I'm going to give you discussion questions to think about. Okay, I'm going to post them on the document and I'll send you a message. But I've got to stop and do the next class right now. So I'm going to give you discussion questions. We'll talk about it in the next class. You can have a chance to reread both stories. And the discussion questions will help you think about it, and we'll do our discussion next Tuesday at 10 GMT. Okay? I'm going to run right now. I'll be back in just a moment to start the new business unit on being innovative.